Hello everyone, welcome back to ThoseYGOguys. I'm your host, Alessandro. So, welcome back to another series, or another video within the series known as Legacy of the Valiant series. Basically, the whole idea I'm going to be doing is do a series of videos talking about certain cards or group of cards within the set Legacy of the Valiant. And pretty much I'm going to keep on discussing until the 24th of January. So we can get a general overall idea what cards are available within the set. And to be honest, this is a really good set. So for today's video that I'm going to be discussing, we're going to be talking about the biggest hype that's going on within the set. And this basically the large amount of new Xyz monsters that's going to be within the set, and I decided to toss in the one lone Synchro monster within the core set, which is the 1 through 80 card set. No, I'm not including the TCG exclusive and OCG imports within this video. Those will be separate videos in the near future. So without further ado, let's get started talking about pretty much the extra deck cards. We'll put it that way. First up, we have number 101, Silent Honors Arknight. It is a rank 4 water attribute Aqua Xyz effect monster with 2100 attack, 1000 defense. Requires 2 level 4 monsters. Its effect stated as you can detach 2 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 face-up attack position special summon monster your opponent controls. Attach it to this card as an Xyz material. You can only use this effect of number 101 Silent Honors Arknight once per turn. If this face-up card on the field would be destroyed, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card instead. So, for example, your opponent makes a Mecha Phantom Beast Dracossack on the field with 2 tokens and Dracossacks in attack mode, and you feel like, well, I need to do something to counteract those Dracossack plays. So if you're playing like Thunder Family, Gadgets, Evil Swarms, Constellars, or any deck that makes rank 4s easily, generally this is a really good generic rank 4, and you can activate effects, steal the Dracosack, and make that Dracosack become Arknight's Xyz material, and then you can use that one lone Xyz material as like an insurance policy to protect Arknight. So basically, a pretty cool generic rank 4, definitely worth picking up if you're wanting to pick up some new Xyz monsters. This is definitely one of those you really want to pick up. Up next, we go to his Chaos form, number C101, Silent Honors Dark Knight. Yes, very ominous and pretty creepy. just messing around. Basically, it is a water attribute Aqua Xyz effect monster, rank 5, with 2800 attack, 1500 defense, and it requires 3 level 5 monsters. Which, of course, that's not very likely is going to happen, so let's be honest right there. And its effect stated, once per turn, you can target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls. Attach that monster to this card as an Xyz material. When this card is destroyed while it has Xyz material, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, then gain life points equal to its original attack points. Basically, you gain 2,800 life points. If summoned this way, this card cannot attack for the rest of the turn, and you must have number 101 Silent Honors Arknight in your graveyard to activate and resolve this effect. So basically, the whole general idea is you bring out number 101 Silent Honors Arknight, then you play your rank up magic cards such as rank up magic Baron's Force, rank up magic Numeron's Force, or rank up magic limited Baron's Force, and then you make into this guy. So if you're interested in a rank up magic deck or so on and so forth, this is definitely one of those cards that you should look into. I'll talk another one and not too far from now. So up next we have number 39, Utopia Roots. Yes, Utopia has another form. Woo. But this is very interesting. It is a light attribute Warrior Xyz effect monster, rank 1 with 500 attack, 100 defense, and it requires 2 level 1 monster. And its effect stated, when any player's monster declares an attack, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, negate the attack, and if that monster is an Xyz monster, this card gains attack equals to the rank of that monster times 500. Basically, this is a pretty good card to go against any decks that relies heavily on Xyz monster. On top of that, it's a pretty good rank 1 to be generic, so that's another pretty cool thing. Most rank 1s requires more than 2 level 1s, so this is one of the few that requires 2 level 1s, and it's pretty well worth the trouble to make. I mean, yeah, if you're battling against, let's say, Gaia Dragon the Thunder Charger, which is a rank 7, basically you can negate the attack. And Utopia Roots gains 500 equals times the rank of the monster that battle against. And since Gaia Dragon Thunder Charger is a rank 7, it gains 3,500 attack. So instantaneously, Utopia Roots will become 4,000. So that's pretty cool. So if you play with level 1 monsters, this is probably something you might want to look into. Next card we're going to be discussing is another card part of the Rank Up Magic series, number C69 Heraldry Chaos Crest. It is a rank 5 light attribute psychic Xyz effect monster with 4,000 attack and 1,800 defense. Yowzers. The requirements to make this card are 4 level 5 monsters. So yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. You're probably going to be doing some rank up magics. And its effect stated, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. Yikes. If this card has number 69 Heraldry Crest and as an Xyz material, it gains this effect. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target one face-up Xyz monster your opponent controls. This card gains attack equal to that monster's original attack. Also, this card's name and original effect becomes the same as that monster. These changes last until the end phase. So, first sentence was probably like, yikes, that's scary. That's probably something that your opponent would probably want to think twice before attacking. On second thought, on top of that, you have if you bring out Heraldry Crest, which requires 3 level 4 monster, and then you play your rank up magic to make this scary guy, then yeah, it gains its full power. And to top all that, and once he's at full power with all the effects applied, and if you think 4,000 attack is not good enough, I mean, they just have to go and steal more attack from your opponent's Xyz your opponent excuse me, I'm now stuttering really quick. You just pretty much takes or drains the attack of completely all the attack of one face-up Xyz monster that your opponent controls, and then steals effect and then deal more damage. So that's basically the general idea, and definitely I think this is by far the main card that makes me want to look into rank up magics and stuff and whatnot. So yeah, definitely really good card and pretty cool to play. Next up, we have number C92 Hard Earth Chaos Dragon. It is a rank 10 dark attribute dragon Xyz effect monster with 1,000 attack, 0 defense, and it requires 4 level 10 monsters. Let's be honest, that's definitely not going to happen. Its effect is stated, it cannot be destroyed by battle, and when a monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, gain an equal amount of life points. If this card has number 92 Hard Earth Dragon as an Xyz material, it gains this effect. Once per turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls until the end of this turn. This effect and its activation cannot be negated. So basically, it is a very unique monster. Personally, I would prefer the original number 92 Harf Dragon because you can utilize him both offensively and defensively. This card plainly is pretty much a defensive player support thing, or actually card holder support. So, it's an interesting Xyz monster that goes along with Rank Up Magic series, but personally, it's definitely not high up on my list. So, yeah, moving on to the next Xyz monster, we come across Gorgonic Guardian. It is a dark attribute rock Xyz effect monster, rank 3, attack points 1600, defense 1200, and requires 2 level 3 rock type monsters. So basically, good for decks that run rock types and level 3s such as Gorgonics or Rock Stuns, because Rock Stuns play a couple of level 3 monsters such as Neospatian Grand Mole and Legendary Jujutsu Master. And its effects stated, once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. That monster's attack becomes 0. Also, its effects are negated. These changes last until the end of this turn. Once per turn, you can target one monster with 0 attack on the field, destroy that target. So, overall, pretty cool monster for rock decks to get. Definitely, it would be pretty cool to see Rock Stun to utilize this card. Overall, pretty good card. So, if you play rock decks and you play plenty of level 3 rock cards, definitely look into this card. It's pretty cool and very good overall. Up next, we have the Sylvan Morigami Alcee. I think that's how you say the last part of his name. I don't know, to be honest. I hope I didn't butcher it that hard. It is a light attribute plant Xyz effect monster, rank 8, with 2300 attack and 3200 defense. Yowzers, that's a pretty big defense right there. It requires 2 level 8 monsters, so it's generic. And its effect stated, once per turn, you can declare one card name, excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is the declared card, add it to your hand. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. If a card or cards is sent from your deck to the graveyard by a card effect, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, then target one card in the field, place that card on either the top or bottom of the deck. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, overall, pretty interesting. Basically, if you're wondering what is excavate, it's pretty much a general Sylvan archetype theme where you reveal the top card from your deck, and you can either, and depending on the situation, it can, well, I'll discuss more about the Sylvans later on in the future. It's probably easier if I talk about the whole archetype rather than keep you guys a little bit lost. So basically, you just reveal the top card, and if it's the card that you declare, you get to add to your hand. If not, it goes to graveyard. So that's basically the general idea. Up next, we have a Ghost Trick monster known as Ghost Trick Dullahan. It is a rank 1 dark attribute fiend type Xyz effect monster, requires 2 level 1s, so another generic rank 1 monster. This card gains 200 attack for each Ghost Trick Ghost Trick card, that you control. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card. Then target one face-up monster on the field. have that monster's attack until the end phase. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one other Ghost Trick card in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. So overall, pretty cool. It has maximum efficiency in a Ghost Trick deck, but if you're not playing a Ghost Trick deck, but you playing level 1s, then yeah, definitely look into this card as well. Basically, he gains 200 attack for each Ghost Trick card, including your spells and traps that you control. So pretty cool. And during like damage calc, you can detach an Xyz material to half your opponent's monster that you battle, or if your opponent attacks into this card, and pretty much this card will probably overpower, ideally. Also, if he's been sent to a graveyard, you can target one other Ghost Trick card. Doesn't have to be a monster card, it could be spell or trap, and you can add it to your hand. So overall, pretty cool. And yes, if you have noticed the picture, it kind of represents the headless knight horseman. So pretty cool. So moving on to the next Xyz monster, we have Bujinte Tsukiyomi. It is a light attribute beast warrior Xyz effect monster, rank 4 with 1800 attack, 2300 defense. Requires 2 level 4 light attribute monsters. Once per turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, send all the cards in your hand to the graveyard, minimum 1, then draw 2 cards. When this card with Xyz material leaves the field because of a opponent's card effect, you can target a number of level 4 Bujin Beast Warrior monsters in your graveyard up to the number of Xyz materials that were attached to this card. Specialman those targets. You can only control one Bujinte Tsukiyomi. So, pretty interesting card. It's a nice, good support for Bujins, and I will be discussing Bujins in the near future within this set. So, definitely stay tuned for more Bujin talk. But overall, pretty cool. And it's not just restricted towards Bujin. Its efficiency, yes, gets maximized if you're playing Bujins, but it's pretty much a generic level 4 light attribute deck. So, pretty cool. Up next, we have Fairy Knight in Gunnar. I think that's how you say the last part of his name. I hope I, again, didn't butcher that name completely. Please excuse if I did. Is a Earth attribute, rank 6, plant Xyz effect monster with 2200 attack, 3000 defense, and requires 3 level 6 monsters. Interesting. Once per turn, you can detach 2 Xyz materials from this card, return all other cards on the field to the hand. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. Pretty interesting. Pretty good if you're base your entire deck OTK potential. Most likely candidates to be in decks are Heretics, since they play a lot of level 6, and Hazy Flames. I could see this more in Hazy Flames because they have a card called Rekindling, which, God forbid, I still don't understand why Konami's kept that card in 3. But then again, I'm not the only one who's thinking that way as well. So, I'm not saying Rekindling needs to get banned, but it's kind of ridiculous to see that card be in 3Ls, and it really is a good card. But back on topic about the Fairy Knight Ungunar. Basically, field clear, and then if you can make OTK, proceed to OTK and kill, basically. And also you can overlay on top of this card with Gaia Dragon the Thunder Charger. So yeah, pretty interesting. Up next is the card that a lot of people are hyping, and yes, it's going up for a higher value for quite a lot of money, and unfortunately is a secret rare. So the card I am presenting to you is Evil Swarm Xyz Knight. It is a rank 4 light attribute Fiend Xyz effect monster. Requires 2 level 4 monster, and it has a really interesting quick effect. Once per turn during your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, if your opponent has more total cards in their hand and their side of the field than you do, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, destroy all of the cards on the field. Also, your opponent takes no further damage this turn. And like it stated in parentheses, this is a quick effect. Overall, this is a really good card, and it kills me when I found out that this card is a secret rare. And I bet a lot of people are pretty sad and disappointed as well. But regardless, very good card. It can be a really interesting card in mid to late games. While it can probably turn the tides in your favor. Granted, yes, your opponent takes no further damage, but I mean, in terms of card advantage, you're probably in a better position. So, on top of that, it is an evil swarm monster, so you summon him, and if they try to bombless him, as long as they don't Solemn Warning, then you can play like Infestation Pandemic to protect him. Yes, I will admit that is pretty stupid. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I will admit, this is something I'm definitely going to try to get my hands on. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to wait until the official release of Legacy of Valiant to the public, because pre-release usually prices are super high. So I'm going to wait until when there's a large supply of this card, so that way it won't be so expensive. So I'll hope to get this card eventually. Well, anyways, moving on to the next card, Downerd Magician. It is a dark attribute, rank 4, spellcaster, Xyz effect monster, requires 2 level 4 spellcaster type monster. Now this card is pretty interesting because here's what I'm going to tell you. Its effect stated, during your main phase 2, you can also Xyz summon this card by using a rank 3 or lower Xyz monster you control as an Xyz material. Xyz materials attached to that monster also becomes Xyz materials on this card. This card gains 200 attack for each Xyz material attached to it. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflicts piercing battle damage to your opponent. If this card battles after damage calculation, detach one Xyz material from this card. So pretty interesting and very unique. If you're playing a lot of low rank monsters, this is another card you can look into and play. So yeah, definitely a very interesting and unique card to look into. And finally, we will go to our last and final card to discuss in this video, and this is Leo, Guard Beast of the Great Tree. It is a Earth attribute, level 10 Beast Sychro effect monster with 3100 attack, 1900 defense. It requires 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. So generic and kind of easy to make if you can. So pretty interesting. And its effect stated, this card cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects except during your main phase 2. So that is a very interesting effect. So basically, the only cards that can kill this thing or hurt or affect this card are basically cards that don't target, such as Madolche, Tiramisu, Spellbook of Fate, Mirror Force, Torrential Tribute, Dark Hole, stuff like that. So pretty cool. 3100, that's pretty big. So that's probably something that not many decks can get over. And if you have cards that does target, I mean, you're gonna have to wait until the main phase 2. Fortunately, by rules of going through game mechanics, I mean, your opponent cannot just skip main phase 2. I mean, they have to go through the procedure of like draw phase, standby phase, main phase 1, battle phase, and if they don't want to do anything in main phase 2, they still have to go through main phase 2, and if you like to do anything, then you can do something on this card, like Book of Moon, Phoenix Chain, or so on and so forth, and then they go to end phase, because otherwise then that'll be a little bit cheap. So that's a little bit words of advice, especially if you come across this card like on Dueling Network or so forth. So definitely pretty interesting Sychro monster. And that wraps up today's video. I hope you guys enjoy this video's discussion. I'm sorry it was pretty long, but the next, or actually future videos, excuse me, won't be as bad as this one. So we got the biggest chunk out of the way. I hope you guys will like this video, and tell me, are you guys looking forward to the new Xyz monster, including the new Synchro monster? Is there a particular card you want to get? If so, please comment down below. Also, if you want me to discuss something within Legacy of Valiant, like a group of series of cards, or so on and so forth, just please comment down below. Make sure you have a Google Plus account. If you don't, make a Google Plus account, or you can send me by email on ThoseYGOguys@gmail.com. Keep in mind, the ThoseYGOguys part of that email address is lowercase. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to have to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys later. So, see you later, guys. Bye-bye.